The village of Umuofia, everyone knew Obinna. He wasn't rich. He wasn't a chief. He was just a quiet carpenter who made chairs, doors, and tables. But there was something about him that people talked about, especially the women. They said Obinna had something big. Something between his legs. Nobody said it out loud in public. But behind closed doors, in quiet kitchens and at the stream, the women whispered. "That boy's thing is too big," one woman said. "Eh, I heard it too," another replied. Amaka said she saw it swinging when he walked past. "I'm even afraid," an older woman added. "Is it safe?" They all laughed. But deep inside, they were curious. Obinna didn't act proud. He was humble. He minded his business. He walked with confidence but never showed off. He wore simple clothes, and he greeted elders with respect. But women still stared. Even the ones who were married. Some gave him free food. Others called him to fix things in their homes, even things that didn't really need fixing. "My door lock is shaking," one woman said. "My bed is making noise," another said. "Please come alone," they would add. But Obinna always stayed polite. He worked, said thank you, and left. He didn't touch them. He didn't flirt. His late mother had raised him well. At Mamanwako's food stall, the women still talked. "Did you hear?" Ngozi said she watched him bathe at the river. She said it's like a third leg. The women gasped, then giggled. "That boy is not normal," one said. "No wonder no woman has caught him yet," said another. "I want to see for myself," someone whispered. They laughed again, but they were serious. Obinna noticed the looks. He noticed the smiles. But he just wanted to build his life, open a bigger shop, maybe work in the city one day. He didn't know it yet, but the village was planning something that would test his self-control. Because when too many women want one man, trouble is close. One hot afternoon, Obinna was working in his small workshop. He was carving a chair for the pastor's wife when someone knocked at the wooden door. He looked up and saw Adaora, the widow who lived across the stream. She was young, pretty, and always smelled like ripe mangoes. Many men in the village had tried to woo her, but she always said no. "Obinna," she said softly, smiling. "Can you come to my house? My kitchen door is broken." Obinna wiped his hands and stood up. "Okay, let me get my tools." When he got to her compound, the sun was already going down. Adaora wore a short wrapper and a loose top. She led him inside. "The door is here," she said, pointing. Obinna bent down to check it. That's when Adaora moved behind him and stood very close. Too close. He paused. She moved closer again, this time touching his shoulder. "Obinna," she said. "I know what they say about you." He stood up quickly. "What do you mean?" She didn't answer with words. She placed her hand on his chest, then slowly moved it down. Obinna froze. His body reacted, but his mind said no. "Adaora, please. I just came to fix your door." Adaora laughed lightly. "Obinna, I don't need you to fix anything. I called you because I want to know if the stories are true." Obinna looked into her eyes. He had never been touched like this before. His hands were shaking. "I don't do this," he said. "But you want to," she whispered, leaning in. Obinna didn't answer. He didn't need to. That day, Adaora became the first. The next morning, she came to his workshop with food. Hot yam and pepper soup. "Thank you," she smiled. Obinna just nodded. He didn't know how to feel. But the news spread fast. Adaora told her best friend. Her friend told another. Soon, more women began sending their broken doors to Obinna. And just like that, the quiet carpenter became the village secret. Obinna tried to go back to his normal life after what happened with Adaora. He thought maybe it was just one time, a mistake he could forget. But 2 days later, another woman came. Her name was Ezin, a married woman whose husband traveled often for work. She came with a small smile and said, "Obinna, my window frame is shaking. Can you help me?" He knew what she meant. Still, he followed her to the house. It happened again. And again with Ngozi, the tailor. And again with Mama Ife, the food seller. Within 2 weeks, Obinna had slept with 6 women. Some brought him money. Some brought food. Some didn't give anything but came back again and again. At first, Obinna felt powerful. He had never been this wanted in his life. Women he couldn't even look in the eye before were now calling him in secret, sending him notes, slipping small gifts into his bag. Some even argued over him. "I called him first," one said. "You saw him last week, now it's my turn," said another. Obinna didn't know what to say. He just stood there, confused. But soon, it became too much. Some women even started visiting him in his home just to have a taste of the most talked about manhood. They couldn't resist it, they said it tasted like honey. Some fought at his gate. One even cursed another woman for taking her turn. Obinna, tired of pretending, made a bold decision. He started charging money. 5,000 naira per visit. 10,000 naira if they wanted to spend the night. No refunds. No discounts. He even got a small notebook and started writing down names and appointment times. Tuesday, Madam Rose, 10:30 p.m. Wednesday, Nkechi, overnight. Friday, Sister Lizzie from the choir, 4 p.m. At first, it was a joke. But then it became serious. Obinna was running a secret business. Some paid in cash. Others paid with food, clothes, or phone credit. He became known not just as the man with a sweet gift, but as the one you had to book in advance. Married women, widows, single ladies, even elderly aunties who once called him my son, they all came, quietly and carefully. One woman traveled from a neighboring village just to taste the man everyone was whispering about. And for a while, life was sweet. Obinna stopped doing carpentry. He upgraded his mattress. Bought a fan. Started wearing better shirts. Women were fighting because of him. Some men in the village began looking at him strangely. Why are married women always seen entering his home? Why are women smiling at him too much? Rumors started to spread. One day, Mama Efima, a tomato seller at the village market, decided to also try Obinna's manhood. She had heard enough stories from the market women, and last night, her best friend swore Obinna's strokes could cure stress better than paracetamol. So that morning, she tied her best wrapper, powdered her face lightly, and headed straight to Obinna's house. She didn't want anyone seeing her, so she went early, just after 6:30 a.m. But as she got close, her steps slowed. The door opened. And out came Efima. Her daughter. The same daughter who still lived under her roof. The same daughter she had warned to focus on marriage, not village nonsense. Efima froze. "Mama," she said, holding her slippers in one hand, her weave slightly scattered.